Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we are setting out to solve one of the corporate world's most universal, agonizing frustrations: bad meetings. We have literally all been there. You sit down, the clock ticks, people talk for an hour, but nothing actually gets done. Well, today, we're going to look at a brilliant framework to fix that once and for all.
Okay, let's dive into this. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Ever left a meeting thinking, wait, what did we actually accomplish? Worse, have you ever sat through a grueling, hour-long discussion only to realize like a week later that absolutely no one was responsible for following up? It's a shared nightmare in the working world.
So here's exactly how we're going to break this down today. 1. The meeting trap. 2. Sandberg's fix. 3. The decision maker. 4. The note taker. 5. The action owner. And 6. Upgrade your next meeting.
All right, starting right off with Section 1, the meeting trap, the universal pain point of bad meetings. We really need to understand why these discussions fail so consistently.
You know the symptoms, right? Missed deadlines, widespread confusion, just massive amounts of wasted time. And honestly, why does this happen? Well, it usually boils down to assuming that someone else is handling the follow-up. It's basically the bystander effect, but for corporate tasks. Hours of discussion lead to absolutely zero execution because everyone at the table naturally assumes they're just, an observer.
So how do we fix it? That brings us to Section 2, Sandberg's role-based fix, taking us from chaos to clarity.
The core concept here comes from a great article by Roya detailing a strategy used by Sheryl Sandberg, the former COO of Meta. And her fix is simple, but incredibly powerful: role-based meetings. It means moving away from a room full of passive listeners and instead assigning specific active roles in absolutely every single meeting you host.
And when you actually make that shift, the results hit you immediately. Role-based meetings generate more accountability because there's no more guessing about who's in charge of what. You also get way faster decision-making because the structure keeps discussions tightly focused. And most importantly, you get action-oriented results. When the meeting ends, every single person knows exactly what to do next. So let's break down the first of Sandberg's 3 critical roles. Section 3, the decision maker. I mean, who actually has the final say?
The decision maker is a single person appointed to make the final call and resolve disagreements. Think about it. How many times has a project of yours stalled out simply because 2 people disagreed and no one knew who was actually authorized to break the tie? Without a designated decision maker, teams just go round and round in circles, debating without ever landing on a path forward.
Here's the trick with how you utilize this role in the room, though. You absolutely must clarify this upfront. Literally ask the room, who owns this decision? By establishing this early on, if there is a disagreement, the designated decision-maker can just use their authority to confidently move the team forward. It instantly reduces that endless, draining back-and-forth debate that eats up so much of our time.
Moving right along to the second critical role, we have Section 4, the note taker, documenting great ideas.
The note taker is the person who concisely records key points, decisions, and action items. Look, meetings often generate phenomenal ideas, but without this specific role defined, the meeting's value literally evaporates the moment everyone logs off the call or walks out the door. If it isn't documented, it simply didn't happen.
And the execution for the note taker is vital here. They need to be someone who listens well and can capture takeaways concisely. We're not writing a novel, we are tracking actionable data. Plus, they need to summarize those action points out loud before closing the meeting, just to make sure everyone is totally aligned. And finally, they must distribute those notes immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, immediately, so absolutely no tasks are forgotten.
Which brings us to the final unbreakable piece of the framework. Section 5, the action owner, ensuring follow-through. The action owner is a specific person assigned responsibility for executing a task with a clear deadline. This is the person who's actually going to get the work done. Assigning action owners is the definitive, non-negotiable way to guarantee follow-through on all those great team ideas we were just talking about.
Now, what's really interesting here is the language shift. The old way of saying, we should do this, is honestly the enemy of productivity, because we usually just means nobody. Compare that to the new way. Who will take ownership? It's a straightforward question that forces a shift from vague brainstorming directly into accountability-driven action.
But just handing out a task isn't quite enough. You have to assign clear deadlines to every single item.
An action without a deadline is basically just a wish. And finally, you must check in on the progress of those action items at the very next meeting to officially close that accountability loop.
So now that we have the 3 rules down, let's look at Section 6, Upgrade Your Next Meeting. Let's talk about actually applying the framework.
Let's look at this chronological roadmap to see how you build a plan to deploy your new secret weapon before, during, and after your next huddle. Step 1 happens before the meeting. Define your roles, know who's making decisions, and who's taking notes before you even sit down. Step 2 happens during the meeting. Assign those action items in real time. Don't wait until later to figure out who's doing what. And Step 3 happens after. Share those notes immediately and hold your action owners accountable. It's a simple but highly effective cycle.
So I'm going to leave you with this. Will you leave your next meeting to chance, or will you assign roles? Sheryl Sandberg's approach proves that eliminating confusion and wasted time is entirely within your control. You have the framework now. Decision maker, note taker, action owner. So take this strategy, apply it to your very next huddle, and change the way your team collaborates forever. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.